Hi guys, I hope you're ready to go on an adventure with me. We're gonna go find some sweet rocks. The river is super high, so it should make for some interesting crossings, but follow along. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's go find some rocks together. All right, whew. The success for that was made it across that river without getting any electronics wet, which is always a good thing. I don't know if I have felt, sorry about the noise, there seem to be in some plants. I don't know if I felt the current be quite that strong, so to be trying to do that with one hand, holding a backpack out of the water, made it just a little bit harder. All right, I don't know if you heard any of that, so I'm going to repeat it. The success for that was I managed to get across without getting any electronics wet, which is awesome. I don't know if I've ever felt the current be quite that strong, so crossing with one hand out of the river, holding my backpack and the drone controller and my phone was not so easy, but we made it. Across the hard part. Crossing back is easy because you just kind of go with the current. So we just got to tread a bunch of water to get to our first gravel bar. Still a little bit of a current here. Sometimes this is a dry path, so this river is always changing. Still quite thick around these parts. Not even sure this is a path. Yeah. Gotta find another way. It wasn't back there. I had to come back this way. There's definitely a path in here somewhere. Yep. Just gotta make sure my mic stays out of the water. These reeds have grown up like crazy because they like the water, and this place didn't have any other plants, but it's been wet all summer, so they're extra thick. Path is that way. I just keep finding little exits. I really need to stick to the path. Let me show you what I'm walking through. There's a path. See, I told you there was a path here. I had to stop filming for a bit because I realized while I was filming, I was letting my backpack get dunked. I don't want everything in my backpack to get soaked. Whew. Open ground. Gotta get out and assess the damage to my feet. I think I skewered them with those reeds a bit. No holes. That's good. Definitely felt something stab, but all right. Get my off-road shoes on. And thankfully, none of my electronics got wet. So I usually keep all the little stuff up in this pocket on the top. And then I had my drone stuff sitting on top of a bag of pistachios and on top of my shoes. So they've seen my videos before, you know what I'm looking for. But if you haven't, you're probably wondering, why on earth would I do that to go look for stuff? So what I'm looking for are little agates, kind of like this one, which are volcanic rocks. They're basically semi-precious gemstones. They're not worth a lot other than the fact that they're really pretty, and I enjoy looking for them. So that's why I'm here. I'm out looking for agates. Hopefully I find a bunch. Here's a great example of one. Nice and light colored, so they come in all different shades, and right next to it there's two more. So these are just little shards, but something we're looking for is banding, really cool banding. So these will come with some orange and red and all this stuff, but they'll have little bands running throughout. Oh, there's another one right here. So you can see all different colors. These are kind of the base colors, white and gray, and then they'll have orange and blue and red and occasionally green and lots of other colors. So they can get really cool. So we're hopefully going to find some. Here's a few more examples of the little shards. This one's got some nice red in it. And then right here, can you see the bigger one buried in the sand? So we're looking for some bigger guys, kind of along this size. They get even bigger, but not too much bigger around here. And yeah, this one's not super colorful or in focus. There we go. But yep, that's what we're looking for. By the way, I am on the Arkansas River in about south central Kansas, in case you're curious. So here's a couple more examples of the kind of rocks you can find along here. There is some jasper, which comes in all sorts of colors. Around here, it'll be black or yellow or red or gray, pretty much. Maybe some other colors, but those are the most common colors. Then we've got a really nice hematite specimen, nice and shiny. So this is mainly chemically iron and pretty cool. So they form these little bubble kind of things, kind of a light rock. And then there is another agate. One's got a little bit of red on it. So that's kind of, you can also find a lot of quartz here. Not super crystally because they're really worn out by the river. But sometimes people do like to find some smoky quartz and stuff. I don't care so much for the smoky quartz around here because there's better smoky quartz in other states. And usually around here it's pretty beaten up. So yeah. If you're wondering what agate is, it's made up of chalcedony, which is a silica-based material, and it forms, it's basically, in your mind, you can think of it as the next upgraded crystal from quartz, just plain quartz. So here's a good example of chalcedony. And then when you have chalcedony that has banding on the inside, that's when it turns into agate. So if you look closely, there might be some
banding here, and but this is a nice little chalcedony specimen for sure. Some people call these honey agates. This one's not super honey colored, but yeah. So nice little piece. I see something right over here, and it looks a little bit like it's mixed with sand and stuff. So that's also what happens to these, is you get this agate chalcedony material, but then it mixes all in with the sand, and it makes it kind of blah. So that's what happened to this thing. Had a lot of potential. It formed in a little void, but it also filled with other minerals and made it less crystalline. Still cool. I'm going to keep it. Oh, I haven't even moved. This one was right here. Right over here, there's another one. Yeah. Whoops. Give it a lick so you can see it better. That one definitely has a little bit of banding going on in there. Let's see what else we can see from here. Right here, there's another one. That's a nice one. I'm gonna set these down. Oh yeah, there's some reds. That's kind of what we're looking for, this red stuff. And then right here, there's another one. So the nice thing is, since the water's been so high all year, it's really washing these gravels a lot and pulling up a lot of new gravels, because I've hunted here a lot and getting a lot of new stuff. The best thing you can do is just sit in one spot and look around. And I've been sitting in this spot for a minute or so and realized a foot away from me, there's a nice glowing one. Let's go get that wet in the river. That's right here. Yeah. Pretty. But we also have a thing called ghost agates, which we call because of their ghostly appearance. And I wonder if you can see over my shoulder, about here, can you see it glowing? They really stand out quite well. You can see how bright they are compared to, where is it? There it is. See how bright it is? And they've got usually some incredible banding running around. Nice, some people would call them fortifications. Let me see, I don't see too much specific banding on this one, but it definitely has that nice ghostly glow. This thing is interesting. I wash it off. Ooh, ghost agate. Hold on, I'm getting distracted. Little guy. Got some interesting designs on there. And yes, I need design. Alright. That's definitely an agate. You can see the banding on it. Pretty neat. It's huge for this area. It's also really ugly color. Take it. Alright. What do we got? Piece of petrified wood. Oops. Very cool. And right here, an old jar. An old jar to put my rocks in. Next to the other jar. Who knows how old these are? It's probably someone's olive jar from 2020. Sweet. Put my piece of petrified wood in there. Oh, let's try to pull. Can I have some more rocks, please? Interesting. This one's only pretty because it's wet. You can't trick me. I know what would happen when it dries out. Now, I see an old chunk of bone. This thing is huge. And because it's so huge, I'm going to keep it. I think it's probably just from a cow. It doesn't feel fossilized at all. But if somebody knows, also in the comments, let me know what kind of bone this is. Is it a hip joint or what? When I rinsed it off, it had a couple holes through it. There's a hole there too, but maybe that'll help you classify it easier. I don't think I'm actually going to keep it. I can feel it disintegrating on my hand. But
But I set my bag down next to a rock that I think is petrified wood. Nope. Well, maybe. Certainly conglomerate. That is odd. What is it? I think it's petrified wood. But there's other stuff. It's just... the silica formed in it weird. Cool. I'm spending more time filming than I am actually looking because I keep finding so much stuff. I haven't even moved from picking these ones up. Nice ghost agate. I love those little seeds that are inside these agates. Super cool. It is such a nice day out. I love being out here. And it's such a beautiful river. It is so high right now, but it doesn't stop it from being beautiful. I stopped picking up every rock that I saw, or not. I stopped filming every rock that I picked up because I found so many that it was taking too long. I'll show you some highlights. Got a nice chunky agate here. And I'm going to move closer to the water so that I can get these wet. See how it glows, the cool banding in there, the nice reds. And I found a couple, I think I found 3 actually, pieces of petrified wood. Nice chunky bits. Sweet designs. Awesome chalcedony that formed in there. And then in here, there's a couple pieces of bone. And I'm only seeing one. One doesn't really need to get wet. You can tell it's fossilized bone based on how it's sticky when your fingers are slightly moist. So either sweat or any sort of dampness works. But definitely sticky and definitely bone. And a nice hematite specimen. You can see how they form these bubbles. And they dry out like that, basically harden. Pretty cool. And then let's see. This one's interesting. It's a little biscuit almost. Very subtle banding. I found one of these, kind of similar to this in Texas, but just formed like a little agate cookie. And then I remember in here, there's some of these have some sweet bands on them. Nice little banding on that one. Nice glowing one. Let's see, where's the one that had some crazy bands on it? But, I mean, all of them have little bands on them that are cool. Oh, that might be what I'm thinking of. Not as crazy as I thought. Still some banding on the end. Nice red and orange on this guy. And oh yeah, this one too. Super orange. So different minerals in here will form different colors. If I remember right, iron does a lot of the red. Copper would do a lot of the greenish, maybe some blue. Maybe iron also does some blue, can't remember. So a lot of it just depends on the specific portion of the chemicals or of elements in each one. So, yeah. Cool. Go find more rocks. We got a whole big gravel bar to get through at least. Gonna find a lot of rock. I immediately found a crazy one. That thing is, the banding on that is crazy. Look at that. I don't know if I've found one with such clear banding on it, but at the same time, there's so much jasper mixed in there. All that red is jasper. So it's agatized jasper. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate you guys watching. And if you're one of my regular viewers, I just want to apologize. It's been like a couple months since I posted. And Part of the reason for that is just, you know, life happens, and I've got 2 little kids, so I want to spend a lot of time with them. And then full disclosure, I'm not at the point where when I make a video, I make any money from it. So, you know, all that just kind of adds up to, it becomes harder and harder to be motivated to make videos. But trying to get back fully into a good schedule, just to have regular videos to post. So I appreciate you guys sticking with it. Thank you for watching. Let's take a look at the last batch of rocks that we found. And then I think we're gonna try to go back via the river. And if you look at it behind me, it is really moving. So it'll be easier than going through all those weeds over there for sure. But the main challenge will be keeping my backpack out of the water. So let's take a look at these rocks, and then we'll head down the river. See if I can fly the drone while I'm swimming down the river. That might be interesting. Got a nice little pile here. Pick out some of the highlights again. Get a little piece of petrified wood. And some sweet banding. Ooh. I hadn't really looked at these all closely yet. Just picked them up and threw them in the bag. That one's nice. And I think I showed you guys this one. Maybe not. Nice red ball. Cool banding all around. Love those. This one's just kind of an odd one. Yep. This one is a mixture of rocks. Got something on the left and then some chalcedony on the right. Some jaspers, like a nice red jasper. This one is the one I think I showed you. That sweet banding. This is a jasper agate. Very nice. And any other unique ones here? I mean, they're all unique, let's be honest. But yeah, just a whole bunch of agates. But we'll see if we can get back to the car in one piece with all my electronics dry. Wish me luck. Let's do this.